All right, I'm just out here with Chester. We are out for our morning potty walk, so we're just getting him for a lap around the property here, letting him do his morning business and stuff. So he's been doing really well though, so I wanted to make a little video update. And so one of the things that happens a lot of times with these behavior modification cases is the things that happen when the cameras aren't filming oftentimes are the things that make some of the biggest differences. And a lot of times, I'm not big on doing like training setups in a lot of situations. I mean, as we progress, we will of course do setups with new people and new places and things, but we're not bringing him out every day and trying to replicate scenarios of reactivity or anything like that. That's just not our goal right now. However, one of his bigger issues that when he came in was and is still to some degree is some barrier aggression. So as soon as he's put into the kennel, you would have seen it too when he was dropped off in the drop-off video. When the owner was holding him back when he was behind the car window, just absolutely losing his mind, barking, forward aggressive inside of in the kennel. And his barrier aggression was really bad in our kennel. So anytime we'd bring certain dogs by, he'd get a huge thrill out of barking, losing his mind at the fence or at the kennel, and having the dogs jump away from him, right? And so it's a really reinforcing behavior, this reactivity, especially behind the barrier, because he knows he's a little bit protected and the things outside are going by predictably. So he has, an opportunity to really practice that reactive, again, barrier aggressive behavior. And it's one of those things where if I open the gate and he came out in that situation, he'd probably be aggressive as well, depending how you handle it. But with that said, the first couple days, that barrier aggression was to the point where like opening his kennel door my kennel staff wouldn't even do it. They weren't comfortable doing it because he would aggressively bark right out the door, basically. Like it would look like he was about to come out at you. So trying to put a bowl or anything into his kennel was very difficult for them. So we have some safety protocols in place that we use. One of those protocols is using a bite suit, obviously. So for him, I just had one of my employees work with him a little bit, as well as myself, with the bite suit on, opening and closing the door and putting his food in just as we would normally throughout the day. Again, not setting up sessions. That's what I mean, right? We're not setting up sessions where we're just, opening and closing his door and reaching in and reinforcing or punishing the behaviors. We're not really doing anything like that. But, when my kennel staff had to take him out, she would put the bite suit on. She would totally ignore all the barking and just grab his leash out with the grabber. She wouldn't reach her, even with the bite suit on, she's not reaching her hand in there because it could still get bit. But she was able to reach in, grab his leash out, bring him out. And as soon as he's out, he's fine. He has no issues at all. He's perfectly neutral. He kind of just roams and does his thing. I've got him to the point now where he's coming to me for a little bit of affection and attention and stuff. I mean, he's a livestock guard dog, so he's not going to really have a whole lot of that. I think he's a Pyrenees or Marama. But he's not going to have a whole lot of that, affection, built in. He's not predisposed to really be super affectionate dog. That's something to understand too. But again, he's getting way more comfortable with me. Now, back onto the remote collar, because it goes into the barrier aggression. So as we kind of worked through him, he got better with us, but he was still having issues when dogs and stuff would walk by, because of course that predictable reaction from the other dogs, they would jump away, they'd get startled. It was making it so some of the dogs wouldn't even want to walk by his crate. So we added the remote collar on the third day, a couple days ago, 2 days ago. We added the remote collar and we just let him wear it. And then, when he started to lose it in the kennel, we added a marker word. So we added the punishment signal, no. And then we applied the punisher, right? We applied the remote collar at a high level. This was his first experience with the electric, so had no prior conditioning or experience. So it was a very effective unconditioned stimulus, very effective classical conditioning. So we said no. We added the e-collar stimulus. I made sure he knew it was me that was adding the electric. I've said no to him in negative punishment events. I think that's important to point out. He has had some prior conditioning to the no word from me, meaning I want his behavior to not go forward, or he won't get what he wants. Basically, like when the cows and stuff were out here the other day and he ran towards them, I said no. He'd hit the end of the leash and then not be able to get to them. So we've added that word. I think that's a bit of an important factor here. I wouldn't necessarily go just right into no relationship, no prior, usage of any markers or any kind of influence over behavior, and then use the electric. I want that little bit of influence to be there, that little bit of relationship to be there, and it was there when I used it. So I said no. I added electric when he started to lose it in the kennel. Again, it was just one of the times when one of my employees was going by with a dog. I was there. I said no. I added the electric to the behavior. And then, you know, we did it a couple more times as she let the other dogs out. And I think it only took like one or two punishments. And he got it really quickly. And now that no command, that no word is very effective. So this morning I was walking a new dog out, a dog that he really liked to react to. And he started to get a little grumbly as I walked up, and I said no. And he avoided the punishment. He didn't proceed to growl. He didn't proceed to do anything further than that. He settled right down, in fact. And even since applying this punishment, the punisher, he's just been way more respectful of the dogs going by. You can tell he knows it's contingent on his barking behavior, his reactive behavior. It's the only time it was used was when he actually reacted. That's important, that it's contingent on these specific behaviors. And he really got the idea that barrier aggression behavior right now is not tolerated, at least by me. And some of the other kennel staff that we've instructed to work on this now have got the opportunity to do it as well. And he's been much more respectful. And this is part of the process here. We're building some authority and making sure he understands that there are rules and it's not just necessarily a free-for-all. And that's I think important. You know, again, with this breed, they're going to be prone to being a little bit noisy, a little bit reactive, protective, but we need to have it under control, and we need to have a way to have it under control. And electric really gives us that ability, and conditioning that electric to specific words and signals and situations is what we're doing. So anyway, kind of a ramble, but that's my morning session here with this guy. Let's see what he does here. You can kind of watch as he goes through the kennel. Again, before he kind of barked at the kennels and stuff when he went by them. Let's see what he does here. He does redirect too, so if he starts losing the kennel, I don't really want to have to like pull him away or anything like that, because again, if I pull him away, he may, redirect towards me. But it's again the importance of some of these conditioned signals and having a real way to control the behavior. Nice. Even like before, when he would go into his kennel, he would start like reacting to me as soon as I would like go to close the door, which is something we've definitely seen before with livestock guard dogs. He would start reacting like as soon as I would close the door. We'll see if he does it here. No, much better now. But before he would as soon as I would close that door, he would start losing his mind at me because he knew the door was latched. And again, very typical behavior. We see it a lot with the latch. Good boy. He looks much better than this. He's doing well. Good. And again, it's like the markers, right? I'm using good a lot with them too. So I've used the no, the conditioned punisher. Now it's a signal that we can use to stop behavior. And then we've also used good to reinforce behavior. And he really, again, you can see some enjoyment. Like when I say good, he looks at me, his tail will give a little wag. Been using that marker a lot when he's out and about with him. And it's building these markers, these signals, so we have a way to communicate with him without relying necessarily on the tools or anything like that to do it. So awesome work from him. And then we're going to continue pottying dogs. So